right, huddle up, huddle up. We're going to crank these engines up on one. All right? Wait, 80. Wait, set. Drivers, start your engines.
This is the Finish Line.
I coached some great offensive linemen in the past. Larry Little, Dwight Stevenson, Jim Langer, all Hall of Famers, and Richmond Webb belongs to that same group.
Here are your hosts, legendary Miami Dolphins left tackle Richmond Webb, Reason, and Mr. Ballgame.
What is good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason. We are back here for another one as we welcome y'all into the Finish Line. As always, I'm joined by my co-host, the legendary Richmond Webb, the Triple OG, Mr. Ballgame. And gentlemen, coming off a win off Black Friday, and now we are into Commanders Week, but also coming fresh off the heels of that Hard Knocks episode and, really centered around Jaelan Phillips. And, I pointed out yesterday, it was really on X. It was really one of the great things to watch this year was those two become a top 5 tandem together of edge rushers in the NFL. But what was special about that episode was seeing how close those two really are, as brothers in arms, really. So how you guys feeling coming off the Commanders win? And how you feeling coming off Hard Knocks episode 2? Start with you, Richmond.
You mean the Jets win?
Yeah.
I'm in agreement with you. We're going to be feeling much better after the Commanders win, but I'm good. Had a great Thanksgiving with family, stuff like that. And then
Richmond, I'm just used to winning, so I just say we win.
I'm in agreement, brother. I ain't hating on you. I love it. That's what I'm talking about. I want to see another number added, 9-3. It looks good to me. But no, just man. We kind of talked about it before the show started, but I'm really enjoying watching Hard Knocks. I thought it would be. I don't know if I want to do it during the season because it's invasive and stuff like that. But like when you get to see some of the interaction between the players and how close they truly are, this and that, you can definitely appreciate that. But so far, I thought it was a good job. I really feel for Jaelan because he was having, that breakout year, and then, to have it, not a career, but a season-ending injury like that, that's tough. But, I think he'll bounce back and do the rehab and stuff. But, man, we're sitting in a good position. We just got to continue to take them one game at a time. I mean, each week it seems like this defense is getting better and better and better, and they're peaking at the right time. And I think that's definitely a key because I think once you get past halfway through the season, typically you've shown just about everything you can do. So people start to kind of catch up with you a little bit offensively, this and that. Not saying we can't score in this and that, but I think it just gets tougher the second half of the season than the first. But to see the growth and the maturity of this defense and how they're like on a serious incline as far as the way they're playing and stuff. I think we're good, and I like what we got down the finish of the stretch and this and that. So looking forward to playing the Commanders and getting that win, like you said. And other than that, I ain't got no complaints, brother. I'm good. How you doing, Mr. Ballgame?
Muted.
Life is good. I gotta apologize. I didn't get a chance to watch the episode. I've been knee deep in a whole bunch of other stuff. But what I will say is that I've been deep in my prayer bag for Jaelan and for the health of this team for the rest of this stretch run that we're about to go on. I think it's always important to make sure we take into context they are definitely still playing even though they've softened up some, still one of the most dangerous games on the dangerous sports on the planet. And it takes a lot to get out there. These guys are gladiators, and oftentimes when you affix yourself to liking a team and say having affinity for players, things happen to them, and it affects you personally too, because you want what's best for the team and you want what's best for the individual because of the fact that he plays for the team, and because you know that at the end of the day, most of these guys just trying to feed their families, man. So again, I said what happened to Jaelan, man, was an unfortunate circumstance, but I do believe, like Richmond said, he'll come back stronger and faster. I believe he's the type of individual that can really, he's young enough to be able to rebound from this and probably even be even better. And really and truthfully, I don't really see no real challenges, man. I watched that Baltimore game on Sunday, bro, and I'm just not impressed with them. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think they have enough to be able to deal with us. Mark Andrews being gone is just like Kelsey not being available full time. In an instance for Mahomes, those guys become dependent on those tight ends, and without them on the field, the offenses don't look as explosive. They don't necessarily have the guys that can break free on their own. All these things, man, don't bode well for them. I'm looking forward to Dallas, looking forward to Baltimore, and I'm also definitely looking forward to playing the Bills again, whether it matters or not. But I think that as I watch the momentum shifts now, there's more talk about us than anyone, and the chances of us getting there are increasing week to week. We just got to get on the other side of this injury bug, and I think it's going to be a very, very historic run for us in terms of what we all want and what we all think this franchise needs to solidify ourselves once again as a formidable opponent and a formidable franchise in the NFL. And I think that's where we're trending, and I'm happy to be a part of being able to see this, because 51, man, it's been a long ride, bro, since I've been able to really be this happy about this team. Richmond them gave us a lot of flashes with Dan and stuff, but it's always came up short. But they balanced, man. This defense is nasty. They generate, like I said, they're generating pressure without having to send in they only send in one extra guy sometimes and still getting that clean. So they got some more wrinkles. I know Vic got a lot more wrinkles in his bag, so we'll see what he can cook up. That's going to confuse people down the stretch. So the best for the defense is yet to come.
The interesting thing to me about the episode from Hard Knocks yesterday too was the play. They showed the play right before Jaelan Phillips tore his Achilles, and he was actually feeling the back of his calf the play before. If you actually watch it, he was feeling his calf a little bit. And I'm wondering if they would have noticed that or picked it up, because you hear Jaelan Phillips, you hear everyone say it feels like you get kicked in the back of your leg.
Kicked in the back of the leg.
Right. And then, I actually, someone posted on Twitter, and I was actually going through the thread, and someone was in the thread, and they said they had an Achilles injury too. And you noticed before the Achilles injury, their calf was bugging them a little bit, and then the Achilles popped. And I'm wondering if, you see someone in the thread, you saw the footage of Jaelan Phillips holding it. I'm wondering if that's a new thing where if you can catch that early, right? If your calf's starting to bug you like that, but again, it's probably one of those things. I've never felt it. They might think it's a cramp or something too, right? So I don't know, but it's one of those things where there might be an early sign where when the person in the thread commented on the video I saw on Twitter today of that portion being cut out, and they said what they said about, I had the same injury too, and I remember feeling my calf before it. I was like, oh snap, maybe that's an early sign or a warning sign that thing's about to detach or give. But McDaniel also said today, when he was asked about it and the whole injury process, he's not going through Aaron Rodgers' new surgery. He's going the traditional route with his Achilles fix. So don't rush him back, because we were going to get into the Rodgers thing, and I got pretty strong feelings on that, but you could tell Aaron Rodgers has selfish motivations behind that. Knight says A-Rod's not going to play this year. I don't care what is open. Then he gifted a membership to the channel to Robert Thomason. And then PL, remember for 10 months, use his 10-month membership to say, "What's up, Richmond Webb? Reason did Mr. Ballgame every single one of those singles wired to you for the Noah Monogamy bet?" I forgot. I'm not even gonna lie, I totally forgot. I think I was just so dumbfounded by the fact that Kelvin Joseph was still on the roster for so long. But I totally forgot. Thank you for the reminder, PL.
PL keeping receipts. What's up with that ball game?
But does it count though? Because Noah's still on the court. He's still on the Cowboys,
bro.
He's still in the league. He's still on the roster.
The guy he's a special teams player. Let's look at this right now. Now that this has been brought to my attention,
paid like everybody else.
Bro, he's a bust. Where he was drafted, you're drafted 30th.
No, we know that. Round, we ain't arguing a bust.
That was the bet. Was that he was going to be a bust.
The bet was he was going to make the roster.
No. The bet was he was going to be a bust. That's why I gave you an extra year. The bet was he was going to bust out. That's what the bet was. Not about whether he's going to make rosters and stuff. The bet was about where he's going to bust out. I'm interested in this now. I want to see his snaps. Because I guarantee they're all special teams.
PL woke up a monster. Don't poke the bear, man. Don't poke him, PL.
He's only played in 2 games this year.
That's $100, man. I like my app $100.
Well, it was $200. I hate to be the one to remind you that, but if you want it to be $100, I can be a nice guy and drop it down to $100.
That's 100 for. Okay, so that's 100 for each cheek.
There you go. He's got 17. He's got 25 snaps this year. He's only played against week 1 against the Giants. He played 16 snaps. I think that's where he got his And then week 5 he played 9 snaps against San Fran. So he hasn't even really played this year. And like total special teams included and everything like that. Last year he played 238 snaps. Year before that he played 78.
Bad and
the year before that he paid. Well, I don't know why they just both didn't cut. What Kelvin Joseph stayed inactive. Igbenogany stayed inactive. Why did they even bother making the trade? Both teams should have just cut bait. Like, you know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah, because you didn't sign Noah to his 5th-year option, and you didn't. No. Kelvin was taken in the 2nd, so that wasn't one for him. So it didn't make a lot of sense either way.
And he got cut. And Kelvin was inactive, and he got cut. And Noah Igbenogany's barely playing, so he's going to get cut. You know what I mean? Like, why'd they even make that trade? I don't know why these people just didn't cut their losses. You know what I mean? Like, anyways, that's neither here nor there. Let's get into more important stuff. Thank you for the reminder, PL. I appreciate you. Okay, one thing I do want to talk about because it happened like weeks ago, the Carolina game. Now, we remember the story. The touchdown from Tyreek Hill, he did the backflip. I'm going to play this video that I'm going to go into details. I want to get your thoughts on this because this is kind of crazy. Like, this is nuts when you think about how, I mean, anal retentive the NFL is. I mean, this is literally the no fun league right here. This is, when I saw this, I was kind of nuts. So I'll play the video, then I'll go into further detail off of it. But here you go.
This is how I got my credentials suspended for the rest of the NFL season at 20 years old. As a junior in high school, I started filming videos for our school's basketball team. At just 17 years old, I learned the skill of social media networking and was able to create opportunities to work with star players like Tyreek Hill, Saquon Barkley, Antonio Brown, and many others. I'm a student at the University of Miami, and when Tyreek got traded to the Dolphins, we instantly reunited and began working together. In 2022, I applied for a job with the NFL, and they hired me to work at all Miami Dolphins home games. I had one of the greatest years of my life, working side by side with one of my best friends, watching him take over the league on his new team. In week 6 of the season, Tyreek scored a touchdown in the exact same corner of the end zone that I was filming in. He noticed me and surprised me by grabbing my phone and doing a backflip. It was the coolest moment ever, and I ran into the tunnel to send the clip to the NFL. Tyreek got a penalty for the celebration and was immediately asked about it after the game.
I seen the camera, and I just took it from him, and he didn't want me to take it from him, so that's my boy K-Fitz, man.
The NFL then let me know that I would be suspended for the remainder of the season and possibly for good. They said regardless if I knew the celebration was coming or not, I still had to be disciplined and that I shouldn't have jumped on the sidelines after the play. One of the best moments of my life turned upside down in a matter of seconds. I get why the NFL had to make this decision and wish I could have done something to prevent it, but I'm thankful for the memory that Tyreek gave me. This was the greatest job in the world, and I never took a day for granted. I can't thank the NFL enough for the opportunity. Whether it's back with the NFL or starting a new sport, I just hope to get another chance at doing what I love.
Okay, so first things first, if you are watching this episode after the fact and that segment is muted, that is because I got copyright struck over the music playing in the background, but I'll leave the video up because all the, the subtitles are there for everyone to read along and see what happened basically. But okay, first things first, if you guys remember correctly, the NFL originally retweeted his video. If you remember, because he sent if you see him running in, he's running in to send the video to the NFL. They originally, NFL UK or whatever, originally put it out there and put that whole celebration video out there. Then they deleted it and took it down. Like, okay, now we saw Hard Knocks episode 1. Remember, he was told, don't do the peace sign, right? Like a freaking peace sign now. And this is what Tyreek's been talking about, how the NFL has been on him. And now we get this story coming out here. Guys, I think this is, I want to get your thoughts on it. I think we all have children. I think if that was all of our son, we'd be pretty freaking pissed off because Tyreek admitted it. Then he tells them, the NFL told him straight up, well, whether you knew it or didn't know it, you still have to be disciplined. What kind of crap is that? Like that is that the player should be, and hey, who are we? We're guys on YouTube. I mean, the best one who can get in the commission's ear is going to be Tyreek and Tyreek's people because they actually have a foot in the door right now. But I want to get your thoughts on this. We'll start with you, Ballgame. I think this is absolutely unequivocally one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard. And the fact that they're out here crushing dreams over something that the player admitted, he had no idea was about to transpire. So it's not like this was Terrell Owens, Sharpie planned celebration here. What are your thoughts on this situation? Because you got two boys that had football backgrounds like he did. What if they got into photography or something around the NFL, got this job, and they had that taken away from them when the whole situation was out of their control, really?
I'll be thoroughly disappointed, man, at the way they handled this because nothing that transpired in that entire exchange between him and Tyreek hurt anyone. If anything, it would have brought more shine and more notoriety to the NFL in regards to how they allow players to fully express themselves. It didn't hurt anyone. I just don't get it. I think when these guys sit around and we understand that it's a business, but at the same time, it's still a game, right? And when you take away the essence of it being a game, then work is stressful enough that you can go out there and you can lose your ability to earn for yourself in a matter of a fraction of a second. But when you take away a person's ability to be who they are and why people actually have fans and why the fans love them because their personalities are big and you want to punish people for doing stuff that hurt absolutely no one, that just makes absolutely no sense to me, man. Shame on the NFL and shame on whoever it was decided to take away this kid's dream and take away what he's passionate about, because at this point now, you just ruined, his entire interaction with the NFL was something that he lived his life up to this point to get himself involved in, and now you just stripped it from him just because of what? He had to be disciplined? He didn't do anything wrong. I don't understand. That'd be like me walking in and my daughter, when they were kids, she broke the glass and, she was disrespectful to my wife and I line all three of them up and I give them all three a whooping. My sons didn't have anything to do with that. So, like, why is he getting punished for something that Tyreek did? Tyreek took his phone and then the kid, did what he did and gave it back to him. Like, why are we holding him responsible? Well, that's like the cops coming and arresting the guy standing outside of the bank when the bank robbers went in and robbed the bank, and he saw it, but he didn't have nothing to do with it. But you grabbing that guy and taking him downtown too. That's stupid. Completely stupid. I don't know, man. You are right though. No fun league, because Chad said it best. He took the fines. He didn't care. He said he wasn't gonna let them suppress his personality. That, that it was coming way back then, and he used to have all those conversations with the commissioner. But at the same time, I see Tyreek, man. Tyreek is gonna be Tyreek, man. There's only so much you can do, and I'm glad that he's took the stance that he's just not gonna allow the NFL to take his personality away from him. He's still not wearing socks. He got fined for that. You know what I'm saying? There's just certain things that players do to prep themselves to go out here and you know what I'm saying, and be the gladiators that they are, bro. At some point you gotta take a stand, man. Just say, you know what, I hear what y'all saying, but I gotta do me, because
Yeah.
I'm the highlight reel. I'm the person that filling these seats. I'm the one they coming to see. Y'all up there in your, you know what I'm saying, in your office spaces. Ain't nobody coming to see y'all, and y'all making all these stupid rules that are restricting the game that all these millions or hundreds of millions of people are loving. You never get nowhere that way. And then you start producing a product full of nothing but robots. Nobody want to see that. It's the personality of the players that make the NFL unique, right? Watching a kid go from high school to college to make it to the league to make a name for themselves. That in itself is why people
The
follow
journey.
and become
Yeah.
fans. The journey,
Like
bro.
the Tua journey alone, right? Look at how that's inspired people and et cetera, et cetera.
man.
And you know what it feels like? Do you remember the finale, the series finale of Seinfeld, where they got arrested for the Good Samaritan Act because they watched the guy get robbed and they didn't do anything about it, and so they got arrested for not doing anything about it? That's what this feels like. Like it's the real life version of the Good Samaritans Act. What's your thoughts on this, Richmond? I mean, you're a former player.
Yeah.
You know, Tyreek's got to be feeling like crap over this too, right? Like the kid's always going to be employed because Tyreek will look out for him, but man, he's got to feel bad about this one.
Yeah, I think, and the thing, like you said, they actually use the story NFL UK this and that, which is great. You know, you normally see interaction like this probably more between, say, basketball players. There are guys running for a rebound and block shots and goes and falls in the lap of fans, and they kind of interact this and that. But you know, like you said, this was this young man's childhood dream. It's not like he just met Tyreek yesterday. They've been friends. Tyreek gets to the Dolphins, so now it's like everything is rekindled. So, I mean, Tyreek scored a touchdown. You see your boy in the end zone. Of course, he always looking to do something, celebrate, grab it. And I think more than anything, I think they got pissed off because the kid got excited and was happy. You know what I'm saying? You got in like, I can't believe he knew he wasn't supposed to do it, but it's like, what do you do in the moment like that? And
no,
I think
no,
no, Tyreek, no,
sir.
go.
Yeah,
but you know, it's I think I think they're gonna get enough if people keep tweeting and talking about it. I think they'll reinstate him next year. If anything, maybe a game, but to just take it away for the whole season after one infraction, knowing the history of it, that he already had a relationship with just. It wasn't like he scored a touchdown and he said, "Hey, toss the camera to him and take it and do this and blah blah blah." That's totally different. So yeah, it's
ridiculous.
It's bad. Yeah,
and the fact that it feels like they're targeting Tyreek right now, when I want to put in perspective what Tyreek's doing right now. This is crazy. Look at Tyreek. Tyreek Hill has 1,324 receiving yards this season. That's more than every Patriots wide receiver combined, every Falcons wide receiver combined, and every Jets wide receiver combined. All right. Remember, Jets fans, you tried to tell us Garrett Wilson was good as Tyreek. How's that one looking right now? But, I mean, I've never seen it because when you put it into context, I mean, this guy's got more receiving yards than 3 total receiving corps of 3 different teams. Like, I mean, you're treating an MVP candidate like this. And I think when you put that in perspective, I mean, Tyreek really has to be out in front of the MVP race when you start putting things like that in perspective. I'm just shocked that they're treating Tyreek this way, and it's continuing on this way. I'm shocked. So everyone wants to talk about, I wanted to shift gears here. I want to talk about 2 different 21-day windows activated today. Let's talk about the first big one. Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers today, what is he, 79 days removed, I believe it is, from that Achilles injury. He was activated today for functional football activity, but it's non-contact. So his 21-day window has opened to return. He's eyeing the Commanders game, their Commanders matchup. I want to get your guys' thoughts on this because this team right now, they're not really in a wild card hunt. I mean, they've got 4 wins. They're a couple games back of the wild card hunt. that things need to continue to go right their way. Are you guys, and let's start with you, Richmond, former player. Let me hear you speak on this. The sense I'm getting is this is more about Aaron Rodgers wanting to show people, look how quickly I can come back about this, more so than making sure he's in a good position to help a team make a playoff run, because they're not threatening anyone for a wild card position right now. And they still have at least probably 2 games to go before he can even come back. What are your thoughts on this whole situation? Because to me, this feels like selfishness. This doesn't feel like, okay, my team's in the thick of the wild card hunt. I need to come back. I'm good enough to come back. This feels like, oh, hey, watch me show everyone how amazing I am and how I can come back quickly from this injury.
Yeah, I just wonder why. What's the sense of urgency? Like you said, it's not like they're a playoff team or they're in the hunt or whatever right now. But you would think, I'll say for me, I'll speak for me. At this point in his career, he's played this long with that longevity, and Achilles is a serious injury. So the last thing you want to do is rush back and then re-injure it or retire it again, and that could be it. Where it's nothing to really rush back for this year based on how the season is going. So just do your rehab and be ready to go next year. It's not like people are questioning that you just lay down on the team. It was the actual injury. You went through it. You've been playing that longevity. Your body only got so many reps in it to where certain things are going to start, breaking down. Injuries part of the game. We all understand that, but
Richmond, Denisha brings up the point. Jaelan Phillips just tore his Achilles on that field. How detrimental would it be to him as an athlete at his age if he re-injures that Achilles on the same field again? That could be career-ending if it happens in the same year, right?
It could be over, yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Normally, as you get older, you be like, no, let's make sure we get it right. You've been, MVP of the league, this and that. You've won a Super Bowl. You've got all the accolades you could want. So why rush back? And why rush back when it's nothing to really play for this year? Not that you don't want to get back on the field, but you want to get back on the field and remain on the field. And that's the thing that's puzzling me. And maybe it's good media attention to where it keeps his name trending on Twitter or social media or whatever. Aaron Rodgers say going to come back. And like you said, they open up the window. But, I mean, if I'm the owner, if I'm the coach, I'm like, there's no need. Why are we doing this? It doesn't make sense. And sometimes you got to protect the player from himself when you think if you're planning on keeping him the next couple of years or whatever. So I don't understand it, but if I'm the coach or the owner and I'm thinking he's going to come back next year and play, I'm like, there's no need. We need you for next year. We don't need you for 2 or 3 games and risk the chance of you injuring it where we don't have you again. So yeah, that's my thought on it.
What do you think on this whole situation? Ballgame, by the way, everyone, over 250 of you. Smash that like button, subscribe if you're new. What do you think, Ballgame?
I don't like ego. I don't like ego moves, man. And I think every bit of what he's done, leaving Green Bay, moving to the Jets, all these different things has all been about him and his legacy, which, in my opinion, was cemented because he did something a lot of quarterbacks never get a chance to do. He won a Super Bowl. But when you go to this point of trying to go back for whatever reason he got in the back of his head that makes absolutely no sense because the Jets don't have anything with them to play for at this point. It's all ego. And I can't get behind that. I can't tell a man how to go earn his money, but at the same time, he reminds me of like old boxers that is saying to himself, you know what, I still got enough. I can get in there and do 10 more rounds, and then, and he done got knocked out previously, and everybody around him saying, like, what are you doing? Like, what is this all about? Oh, I still got enough left in the tank type of situation. Man, sit your ass down somewhere, heal up, and give it a run next year if they choose to go that route with you. But at the end of the day, bro, like, this makes absolutely no sense. And, his ego is clouding his judgment. And, Aaron, I'm not really surprised, though, because he's the same dude, man. He learned from one of the most egotistical dudes on the planet. Brett was the same type of way. Wouldn't go sit down when he had an opportunity to, I'm saying? I think, you took a great legacy and you tarnished it by going and playing with the Jets. They didn't win anything there, right? Guys just don't know when to go home or just sit down and just get out of their own way. And this is to me one of those situations where Aaron, you know what I'm saying, is trying to prove something maybe to himself, but I think this is a bad deal. And nobody around him is strong enough to tell him, or he doesn't listen to anyone around and telling the man, just sit your butt down. You know what I'm saying? You got a whole nother season ahead of you potentially if they want you to come back, and you can prove it then. But, 70, what, how many days? 79 days off the surgery?
Yeah, it's 79, I believe.
Yeah, good luck. Yeah, good luck with that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Jaelan, you and Jaelan are not the same, and Jaelan had a different injury. So, good luck. It's all ego to me, man. Look at me. Look what I've done. I had the quickest, you know what I'm saying, for my age, I had the quickest turnaround in the history of the NFL and made it back to play on the field. Nobody cares, bro.
That's what it feels like.
But it is. It's ego. It's all ego, bro. You see right through it. It's unfortunate the people around him ain't smart enough to tell him to save him from himself. That's the problem.
Agreed.
But
and then
do it and then go out there and have a relapse. Have at it. Set them back
and then
much more.
Speaking of injuries and 21-day windows being open today, the Dolphins opened the 21-day practice window for Chris Brooks using their 7th IR activation spot out of only 8. So they only have 1 remaining. The thought is don't expect Isaiah Wynn back this season. So Chris Brooks has now entered his 21-day window to be activated to the roster. So that, hey, they must not have been that impressed with Darrington Evans if they're going that route and using an IR spot. So Chris Brooks, he's going to be back. And speaking of Chris Brooks and the whole run situation, interesting thing today, guys. I'm going to read something to you. And today, Mike McDaniel in his press conference was asked about the Dolphins' inadequate play and play calling on 3rd and short. And let me read you the question and the answer here. So he was asked, you addressed the 4th and shorts and 3rd and shorts. I looked it up. You're 4 of 12 passing on 3rd and 2 or less, and you're 3 of 7 on 3rd and 2 or less running the ball. What are your thoughts process when you're in that situation? And his answer, McDaniel's answer was, we're trying to do stuff that works. You hope it's not as much as an eyesore as where that ranks in the rest of the league, and it's not good enough. But there's always stuff that you're working on in your game. I think one of the things that gives us a chance to play good football every week, to get better at that, those are the facts as life stands right now. You have to work at stuff. And for me, I'm not going to pretend every decision I make is good. I'm trying to make the best decision. Football is a humbling game. For instance, every single one of those plays that didn't work, in my mind, I was definitely hoping they'd work, and they didn't. So you try to learn from it. Case in point, we couldn't run the ball before. Now we can. You have to work on stuff. It starts with me. Ultimately, I make the decisions, and I'm held accountable for the ultimate result, as it should be. What I do know is we have a collection of individuals that we're all fighting for, whose fault really it is. I have the loudest voice, so I get to say it's mine. And that's a healthy process through an NFL season. I need to give guys opportunities on the ground more to make plays. But at the same time, you make each and every one of those decisions. For me, at least, I don't pretend that any play I ever call is the reason that something, anyways, on and on and on. But the whole point here is he says that he needs to give the running backs more opportunities on the ground to make more plays. His quote is, I need to give guys more opportunities on the ground to make more plays. When asked about 3rd and short, 4th and short, straight up, ball game. Yes, we'll go yes or no's to each and you, and then I'll let you expand on that. But I want to go back and forth. Straight up, simple answer. Yes or no, do you believe in ball game? That he's going to give more opportunities on the ground. Richmond, yes or no, do you believe him?
I'll say yes.
Okay. Ball game, why do you not believe him?
Because he's had plenty of chances before, and this is a recurring thing even from last year where he had an opportunity to put the ball on the ground to keep drives going. And you add to throw the ball, and you've seen the same thing repeated again. This is why everybody been screaming about it, and they bringing it up as a question to him now. So,
oh yeah, Richmond.
Yeah, I think I think you got to sometimes make a change, and I hear everything. Y'all got valid points. He's done it before consistently, just that. But I think when you are in this position, you're getting the players back that were off IR. You're bringing everything coming together. Your defense is clicking. This, I think, is something you got to take into consideration. And the thing with the running game, a lot of time, is something you got to do enough of for the running backs to get in a rhythm. It's a little different in the passing game. Sometimes the offensive line, once you kind of get a feel for it and get it rolling, you got to kind of stick with it. So not just on just third down or fourth down, but we need to mix it in where we have a more balanced attack, and especially if you get it going early, that helps your play action. That helps the receivers and everything. So I'm going against the grain, and I know that I'm hoping that he says what he meant, and hopefully we can start to see him in those situations start running the football more, and for us to have more success converting on third and fourth down. So I know I'm out there, but I'm gonna go out there by myself.
Yeah, because I kind of lean with Ballgame a little bit. It's more so I believe we can do it. I believe he can do it, but I'm at a point of I'll believe it when I see it. This type thing where I'm when you know what I'm saying? Like, because we got the talent to do it. He even admitted we got, he said we couldn't run the ball before, now we can. And I even said this before, gentlemen. I mean, I don't know. I don't think I had a chance to show you guys yesterday because we weren't. But you remember how I used to go over the run blocking and the pass pro every week with you guys? I went over it yesterday because. I mean, hey, man, your boy needed content yesterday. It was one of those days, baby. And one of the things that when you went over it was what was crazy was, we were top 5 in pass pro. But if you look at where we were, guys, I know I broached the subject of, everyone was making it about Achane is the reason why our run game wasn't as effective. And it's still effective. But I was the one that said, everyone's sleeping on, the impact of the loss of what Isaiah Wynn was doing in this offense. And, right now we're the 24th ranked. If you take a composite score of the PFF grade Sports Info Solution score and ESPN's run block win rate, we are 24th we have a 37 PFF run blocking grade compared to as a pass blocking, we are killing it. We have a 83 pass blocking grade, and we have 100 Sports Info Solutions score. You know what I mean on pass pro. So I think Isaiah Wynn is another big, and I still think, we're still getting these 110-yard games, but I think we could be having 140, 150 with Isaiah Wynn in there easily. I think just that whole left side. I mean, we can all agree, the three of us can agree our best run blockers on this team were Connor Williams, Isaiah Wynn, and Taron Armstead, and that's one side of the freaking line, basically, right? So. I think it's deeper than just running backs. And I think, I talked about this yesterday too, gentlemen. Does McDaniel sometimes geniuses can tend to overthink things? Does he overthink and outthink himself and think they're expecting me to do this, but I'm going to do this, when really everyone's expecting you to pass on your tendencies you've shown. I don't know what you guys think about that, but
I agree with that. I think that has a lot to do with it. I think, unfortunately, he's stuck in this space where he has so many things from last year that he wants to fix, but you can't fix them all right there on the sidelines. You have to go through a process week in and week out of training yourself not to make the same mistakes. Just like the players are learning the playbook, the coach has to learn not to make those same mistakes in those crucial times. And the only way you can actually find out truthfully if you actually are capable of making the right call or not making an emotion call is being on the sideline in the heat. You can do preparation. You can do situational drills all day long in practice. And if he's not putting himself in those positions to have his sheet list what his best, because the sheet's supposed to have your best plays for those situations. right? And those are the things that the guys know like the back of their hand. No matter where you at, no matter who you playing, you should be able to go to it and get what you need in terms of the yardage to keep the sticks moving. You know, if he's not putting himself in those situations on the sideline, they just out there practicing, just doing plays to get the play down, but it's not situation based, then what's the point of it? How do you really know how effective it's going to be when you need it the most? Right? So all those things have to be tied into each other. I guarantee you Vic's on the other side looking at 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1, what defense, because a lot of times I've noticed with Van Fangio, not to deflect from McDaniels, is he'll go ahead and give you the 3rd and 1, and then he'll take it away from you again in the next series, right? So he'll give you the first down to see what you got. And then if you come out with a similar set, the next series on the 1st and 10, he's taking that away from you the next time. And that entire process is done. Now you 2nd and long, and then you 3rd and long, and now you punt.
Yeah.
So he'll give you something to take everything away from you. Mike has to put himself in those positions to be comfortable to say, you know what, 3rd and 1, what's our best run? All right. You know what I'm saying? Weak, you know what I'm saying? Strong, weak, halfback blast, 23, you know what I'm saying? Counter, whatever the run is, they need to run it when those situations until everybody is numb of it. And then you can move on. But situationally, you got to have at least 4 plays. When you agree, Richmond? At least 4 that you know without a shadow of a doubt in those situations. Nobody can stop you on them. I don't care what they put out there. You can get that yardage to keep the sticks moving. And if he's not doing it like that, then he's going to always run into these situations where he's calling the timeouts and he's looking at that long-ass play sheet he got. We all seen him do it. Looking at that play sheet and trying to figure out, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? And then you get to play out the 2 of them with 16, 15 seconds left on the clock because you're not prepared. You see what I'm saying? And then they going all the way down to 1, snapping the ball right there at the end of the play clock, and everybody's frazzled, and then the play still don't work, and he's standing over the sideline with that, with that look on his face, like, why didn't that work? Because you ain't practiced it. Like, come on, man. He got to get himself also better at situational stuff, bro. So,
yeah. Your thoughts? Any thoughts on that, Richmond?
Yeah, I do know, and I think the difference probably is with so many limited padded practices, whatever. And then along with the injuries, I definitely think if, losing a guy like Wynn and stuff like that, I definitely, but, we would have on Thursdays, we would normally do our short yardage, goal line stuff, and you got multiple plays depending on what hash you're on, this and that, and ball games, right? It's in the sheet. You might have 3 runs and you might have 3 passes, but they can go either way because it's just depending on, where you're at and how you call it, odd, even, or whatever. But yeah, you gotta rely on it, but you could be able to practice. But we could kind of practice it where you can hit up in there and get a feel for it, this and that, and the backs can kind of get their timing and stuff. And I think, me personally, sometimes we're not having a bunch of padded practices. I think sometimes it's hard to simulate or emulate what's actually going to happen in the game. I mean, you can go full speed and helmets and shorts and this and that, but I just think it's a little different when you got the actual pads and stuff on. But you got to at least be willing to try some of those runs. This and that. It's almost like y'all said, you can't overthink something. It's just like playing chess or whatever, or playing poker. If I can read your facial expressions, every time you got a good hand, a couple of aces, or you got 4 kings in your hand, I see your face light up. You're like, okay, he's got it. It's easier to kind of say, okay, I know how to play him, this and that. But yeah, you got at least give it a shot. I agree with that.
Yeah. Before we get into the Commander stuff here and injury updates, Taryn Langover says, do you guys think it's possible he's just doing it this way to come playoff time he flips the switch?
No, I don't think that.
He got a break. He's in a habit, man. It happens too much for it to be something that it's in him now. He's going to have to force himself to break the habit, bro, and put something else in practice that he does consistently on a day-to-day basis. Even if he's just sitting around with the other coaches and they firing off to him, give me your best 31 play right now. Short hash, 31 play. He got to be able to fire it off. Right off the top of his dome. But he's on that sheet, bro. Every time you look at him, he's on that sheet, looking for the perfect play. There's no such thing. Perfect play
And I
is the
think
best
that's
play
why,
that your team
bro,
can execute.
ball game. I think that's why we take those penalties, because he's looking for the perfect play, and it takes him forever to get the call in too.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
It's kind of what we talked
it's
about,
gotta be
Teron, where you're outthinking yourself, right? You're starting to outthink yourself.
Yeah. And the players need to be able to do it as well and look back. If he called a play to the sideline, they got to be able to look at each other too and be like, "Why you calling that, coach?"
Taryn
And
says
Tua
I
gotta
only
be like,
say that
"No,
because of
no,
how
we
we
got
played versus Buffalo run wise. That's why he says that.
That game in itself,
I agree
watched
with
that game.
I agree with ball game. I mean, when trends start turning into patterns, that's when you gotta look at something, right? You know, it's one thing if something's a trend. When it starts turning into an everyday pattern, then you start believing it's not bred into them, but it's sewn into them a little bit. So it's and it's like ball game said, it's like you got to break the habit. It's like what the players got to do when players got to break habits. You know, shifting from left tackle to right tackle. There's different things you got to do with your lower half. You gotta learn. It's the whole thing. So I agree. All right, let's get into this though, gentlemen. Commanders game. Before I get into your guys' thoughts and predictions and how you guys see this going, a big thing to watch heading into this is a left tackle situation. Okay, so 4 players missed practice today. Kendall Lamb, Tyreek Hill, Raheem Mostert, and Javon Holland. So to go over each one of those guys before we get into Armstead and everything. Lamb is dealing with a back injury. Remember, he tried to go last game. That's why Kion Smith ended up going in, because Lamb was having back spasms and couldn't go before the game, even though he tried to go. McDaniel said Monday that he's optimistic Lamb will be available on Sunday, but he wasn't able to practice Wednesday at all. So you got to take note of that, I think. Tyreek Hill, he's got that ankle injury. Apparently he's moving well, at practice today. Before practice popped off. Holland has 2 injuries now. After suffering that knee injury against the Jets, he now has injuries to both knees. Mostert, he usually takes Wednesday off for vet rest. He has ankle and knee issues right now. So Armstead, and where we're at with Armstead now, remember he told in a tweet responding to Omar Kelly, he implied he'll be better this weekend, that he'll be playing this weekend. He's got that quadricep injury that, it looks like he may have came into that game with. And this could leave Kion Smith as the potential starter at left tackle. So Richmond, a lot to unpack here. Okay, so let's talk about this. Kendall Lamb, the back spasms, the back issues, that is what it is right now. Kion Smith, what did you think of his play on Sunday at left tackle? And then number 2, I broached this multiple times. I want to broach this to you. Armstead, is there any, is it time he contemplate? I know next year's the only year he's got really left on his deal where he'd be leaving money on the table. Is it time for him to seriously start contemplating hanging them up? Because these injuries, it's not one injury a year, it's 3 or 4. They're lower body extremities. He's in his early 30s. You want to enjoy some of your life. I get it. There's money on the table. I think if he doesn't retire this offseason, I don't see him playing beyond next offseason, the fall, following this upcoming season. I don't see him playing beyond that. What are your thoughts on Armstead and us really seeing his body start to break down? And what were your thoughts on Kion Smith filling in at left tackle on Sunday on Black Friday against the Jets?
Yeah, I didn't think Kion did. He did pretty good for the situation he was put in. So I wasn't just overly, he did okay, but I think what's concerning, he's your third option. So anytime you go down to that, that's normally a huge drop off. But he did okay. I think the thing with like you say, Lamb dealing with a back, and DC's fighting, trying to get through it. But I guess the thing, and I try to approach it from I guess if I was doing it. And I did the last couple of years. I had I tore my pec, and then I had the tricep, but I came back from that, tore that twice. But when they continually start happening, this and that, that's in the back of your mind. Kind of say, okay, it might be time to sit down and do something else. But I think he's always missed games, even when he was younger, 4 or 5 games. It's just even more they signed him. So I don't know if his mindset works the same as mine would, because you know what I'm saying.
You were healthy.
I played, I played
Yeah.
healthy, so it's like,
Yeah.
but when you kind of go, okay, I'll just get through this and I'll get back this and that. So, but after you get like past 32, 33, and I even listened to Jason and Travis Kelce, you know, and they even talk about how they feel before the game, the body, this and that. And Jason was talking about how, you know, he wasn't for sure if he was going to come back and play for the Eagles this year. So that's definitely something you got to consider, and it's definitely something you got to look at and say, there is life after football, and a lot of times those injuries don't just remind you the year after. It'd be about 4 or 5 years down the road, and you'd be like, oh, man, you know, I feel this, I feel that, this and that. So it is something he needs to possibly consider because, like you said, he's been – I know the last couple of years with the Dolphins, he's really had some stuff to deal with. So hopefully he's thinking about life after football and not just, you know, the money's good, I get it, this and that, but at some point you gotta look at, you got a lot more years ahead of you, you know, you take care of your body and stuff. So he's definitely got to be looking at that. He should be.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on this whole situation? Kion Smith probably potentially starting Ballgame.
Well, to be honest with you, the fact that Sweat and Chase Young are no longer there, I think it bodes well for us. I think that Butch Berry does a good job of getting guys prepared to week to week. So I don't know if if they're healthy, suit them up. If they're not, I think we'll still be fine. I think guys figure it out pretty early on in the game whether or not they need help or not. And I see them doing a really good job of communicating what issues are, and you know, saying guys showing up and helping them in situations, and they go back over and talk, and then the next thing you know, they see you have a tight end over helping chip a guy before he had to take him on by himself and things of that nature. So I don't know. It's always for me, man. Next man up. You know, I knew when we signed Armstead that he had the issues coming out of New Orleans, not staying healthy for 16, 17 games. So I didn't necessarily expect that we get much more than what we've gotten at this point. I don't know if we got our money's worth, but it's good to have a guy around like that can teach and impart wisdom on the younger guys. So I think his value came in a different fashion for us as opposed to on-field play, you know. And I think it's permeated through the younger guys, and they've taken a professional approach to being better physically, emotionally, and mentally. And I think that's where his biggest impact for us has been. You know, undeniably, when he's on the field, he's the best tackle that we have. We all know that, and we want him out there. But like with his body, man, it's always something, bro. And like Richmond said, at some point, you want to be able to walk away from this game fully capable of being able to still enjoy some form of enjoying the benefits of all of the battles that you put your body through. You know what I'm saying? If he continues to put himself out there and can only be half of who he is, then you know, you leave the game. You can leave the game a shell of yourself, and that's even worse, I believe, because then at that point, what do you do it for if you can't enjoy the fruits of the labor? You see what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think he should really start considering what's really next for him, and hopefully the people around him are saying the same things to him. I got a question though, Richmond. I watched you play, bro, and I watched how you and Sims was built. Why are these dudes so big up top and so small down at the bottom nowadays, bro? Why they don't have legs? They don't have legs at all, bro. Like as a lineman, man, I used to, you know what I'm saying? Like lineman, you guys were symmetrical, bro. Y'all was, you know what I'm saying? You were big up top and big at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? And able to, you know,
Pause.
But why is everybody so top heavy now? Oh yeah, pause. Why is everybody so top heavy now? You know what I mean? And
True,
they don't
he's
have,
not wrong.
you know what I'm saying?
I bet you it's to be quicker, bro. I bet you it's for footwork to be quicker. The problem is when you're what you're talking about, that's why I brought up Armstead. When those lower extremity injuries start to add up and your body's built like that, now your lower frame can't hold that upper half the way it used to be able to.
Right.
Anyways, Richmond, sorry, go ahead. What were your thoughts on?
I didn't think about it too. I just started thinking about it when he said that and that might be what it is. I think when me and Keith came in the league, even though we played for Miami, it was more dominant run. Everybody ran the football. I mean, we didn't, but it was more dominant. So you had to be built a certain way, bigger
Gap?
legs, probably squatted, stuff like that. Where now it's everybody's running spread offense, this and that.
Yeah.
So I think both of y'all bring up a great point. I think the way the game changed and evolved is that they don't feel it's a requirement now, so they're trying to work on what they think they need in order to be quick and successful in this modern day passing era or whatever. That's the only thing. But you do need some symmetrical balance no matter what. You got to be strong in your lower body. You need core strength, all that. So it's just, I guess it's all in who's training you and all that. But yeah, I didn't think about that till you said that. That's a great point.
So you guys, we got the Commanders this weekend. They're the number 9 passing offense in the NFL. Sam Howell has the most passing yards in the NFL. He also has 13 interceptions. It's something I've been stressing to fans this week. You can't turn the ball over the way you've been turning over against these inferior teams because this offense has weapons and they will make you pay, right? You got Dotson, McLaurin F1, Scary Terry, you got Logan Thomas, you got Brian Robinson Jr., you got Antonio Gibson. They can make plays offensively. Now, to Ballgame's point, is their front as dominant as they used to be? No, but that interior still has Daron Payne, Jonathan Allen, and some real bodies in that middle. So Eichenberg and Connor and Lester, they're going to have a good test. I'm more worried about the interior than I am on the outside. And we've seen what happens when that interior can collapse, how it can affect the timing and the rhythm of the offense. That can really collapse what we want to do. What are your guys? Let's start with you, Ballgame. What are your thoughts heading into this game? What are your thoughts on the Commanders? And what's your score prediction? How do you see this one going?
Well, for me, I think where we are going to be weak is at the areas that we just talked about, the tackles position. I know that they've done a formidable job of shoring up insides for most of the year, like even Dexter Lawrence, and even against that front, and even against the Jets front, where they have some real disruptors in the middle of their defensive line as well. So I'm leaning more towards this will be really a situation where we got to either play up and pass to play up to our level and not down to their level, right? Sam Howell's going to go out and do what Sam Howell's going to do regardless. He's going to throw the ball around, so we just got to be ready for that. I think overall, we are the better team on paper and realistically right now as we stand, so we should win this game convincingly. But if they, like you said, if we do make mistakes and put them in short yardage on the other side, and Tua is sloppy with the ball, they will make you pay for it because they do have athletes over there. I just don't.
Yeah. Even Curtis Samuel is good. I don't know if you guys remember Curtis Samuel, but he's having a good year too.
Yeah. When you get into the grind of the game, I think that, that the athleticism and the eliteness of some of our players will take over, but you don't want to be in a shootout with this team because that's kind of what Sam is doing right now with no real regard for anything other than just, I'm going to get it out. I'm going to get it to my guys. And I'm going to let them make plays. And if we win that way, we're good with it. If we don't, then okay, we're going down this, we're going down this hill doing it our way. And another team that really doesn't have anything to lose, right, and everything to gain, that they can knock you off and move towards themselves getting better because they're young. They're young in all of the right spaces too. So this is all about experience for them. Ron, their coach knows that there's no real pressure on them to do anything else but go out there and just compete. And those can be scary teams. So for me, I think when it's all said and done, it'll be another 35. I said 35-17 game, right? Because they will. I'm not gonna say they're not gonna score because they do throw the ball around a lot. And when you throw the ball around enough, some guy somewhere is going to be slacking and you might get caught, right? I just don't know who. I doubt if it's Jaelan, but you never know. Corners have bad days just like everybody else. So, but we win. I just don't want to. I just want to make sure we come out of there healthy. That's always for me right now. Health is wealth right now in the NFL in terms of being able to sustain this next couple of weeks that we got to go through. So 35-17
And
is my prediction, but I believe the Dolphins are successful. So.
And I brought it up yesterday. I mean, because I think this is a quarterback duel that people are sleeping on a little bit here. That could be something. I mean, look at what he did against the Eagles. 39-52, 397 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a pick. They were winning 17-10 heading in at halftime with the Commanders at home against the Eagles. And all four of those touchdowns, they went to 4 different, receivers. Sam Howell's no slouch, and people need to realize this.
Right.
The reason why he has 13 picks and things are going the way it's going. If you look at Sam Howell right now, you want to hear something crazy? Sam Howell, he has already thrown the ball this year 486 times. Just for contrast, Tua's thrown at 377, and that's a lot. Tua's on pace to have the most attempts of his career, and that's a lot for Tua. That just shows how much they're throwing the football right there. What are your thoughts, Richmond, on this game? Shout out to Chris Johnson with the $9.99 super sticker. Appreciate you, sir. What are your thoughts on this game? How do you see it playing out? It's in Washington.
It's in Washington. It's a road game, and I agree with Ballgame. The last thing you want to do is give this team the belief that they actually have a chance to actually win the game. Yeah. Don't leave them in the game. Don't make the mistakes to keep them in the game when we can put them away. And these are the type of teams that can be dangerous because this is a team that I think everybody expects us to go up and win 9-3, this and that. But, mistake here makes a mistake there, and they make a play here and play there. And now it turns into a dogfight, and you're struggling to get out of there with a win. So I think we play, more sound football. Don't make the mistakes. Minimize those. And like you said, with the tackle situation, especially left tackle, hopefully Armstead can go or whatever, or Lamb. But if not, we got to do what we got to do. But like you said, Chase Young is in with the 49ers and the other guys. So I think this is a winnable game. It's just we just go up and execute from the start and don't have a drop off or a little situation where it kind of gives them an opportunity to wake up and say, "Hey, we're only down 10. We can still win this game." You don't want them to even feel it. You want go ahead and put them to sleep. And I'm hoping Sam is feeling early like Santa Claus and give us some Christmas gifts and hopefully X and Rams and those boys back there can have a field day. So that'll be good. But I got it 28-17 Dolphins win. I was thinking 13. I just don't know about the like you said, they do throw it a lot in this and then they got some playmakers, but I got the Dolphins winning 2017.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to give my prediction on Friday, but I think it's going to be closer than what people are assuming. So any final thoughts before we get out of here, gentlemen? Richmond says no.
No,
wealth, man.
Yeah.
Got to do everything. They had 9 days off.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys, do us a favor.
They had
Smash
9 days off, so I hope they took the time to go and get them.
That delay. It's the delay. That's what happened. See, I stopped, right? Because he delayed. He delayed and came late. So then I stopped when I started talking and I heard him start talking. But then the delay, he stopped talking because I started talking and I'm still waiting for him. And then the delay leaves the gap. Oh, Jesus. Anyways, finish your thought, Ballgame. Go ahead.
It's all good. No, I'm just saying, man, like, you're right when it comes down to it, man. I think the one thing that I still notice week in and week out is that this team takes off the first couple of drives and then they get settled in. We got to start fast and finish fast, man. That way you don't have to even, get the game out of blow it open and be done with it so that your stars can get out the field, man. So you can move on to the next game, and then that way your backups can get in and get some quality reps too, because you never know who you're gonna need down the stretch. And I think the worst thing in football is that the starters get all the reps, but then unfortunately one go down, and then you got a guy that you got to depend on, but he ain't ready. He ain't had no game reps, and now you're out there on the big stage depending on this guy. So, yeah, blow it open, Mike, and get it out of the way, and then let the backups get in there and finish it off and be good to go. So don't play around with them.
Yeah, don't play with your food. All right. Appreciate all y'all. You know what it is. Don't be a kitty and start playing with your food. Appreciate all y'all for coming through. Do us a favor. Smash the like button. Subscribe if you're new. I'm going to be back tomorrow around 5 p.m. Me and Neil Driscoll will be back for Fin Too Deep. So be on the lookout for that. Then on Friday, I'll be live. I'll preview the game. I'll give my prediction, my thoughts. Then we'll be live on Sunday to live react to the game and also have the fifth quarter post-game show. Because the Miami Dolphins, they have the chance to go 9-3. And, Ballgame talked about how slow they are coming out of the gate, in games. And it's crazy because last year we were slow. And this year it looks like we're going to slow coming out of the gate on our buys, right? Last year we were slow coming out of the gate. This past game, we looked a little slow coming out of the gate on the buy. So, again, you had 9 days to get healthy, to get your P's and Q's straight and get everything figured out. So hopefully we see a more polished game in Washington, because I believe Washington, they're actually a better road team. They're 1-4 at home this year, so they're not very good at home. But as I just showed, even against good teams like Philadelphia, they lost by 7. But that was a shootout, and man, we don't want to go in the shootout. I want what Ballgame said. Let's cruise to a victory, and by the third quarter, we're benching guys and we're bringing guys in and giving our starters some resting time. So appreciate all y'all. Smash the like button on the way out, and we'll see y'all in the next one. As always, fins up. Have a fantastic rest of your evening.